the keys are to the glory days at the stick. From who's got it better than us to brick by brick. It's always the 49ers way, from off-season to game day. Yeah, we talk back. It's the 49ers Cutback.
It's 49ers Cutback Podcast time. We have a very interesting topic to talk about, something that I think a lot of people are going to be feeling either one way or the other, because we're talking Jimmy G.
That we are, good sir. Why is he the option at quarterback for the 49ers in 2021? Half of you right now watching this are steaming. You're fuming. Listen, we get it. Let us make our points, but why don't you go ahead and preemptively scroll down right now and let us know why that's not the case and why you think Trey Lance is going to take over in week 1, week 3, week 7, whenever it is you feel like he's taking over. Let us hear about it, and then sit back, hear what we got to say on it. We're not saying that Jimmy is the quarterback of the future. We're just saying he's the guy right now in 2021, and we got some film to show you as to why and talk about it in the discussion, because at the end of the day, that's what we want. We want to talk about this. We want you to hear us out on this, and then we want to hear you out, because there are some compelling cases to why Jimmy should be in San Francisco.
Yeah, there is. I think there's a lot of, really good reasons why Jimmy Garoppolo should be the quarterback this year. And I think that, Trey Lance being able to develop behind him is something that they're looking at and are perfectly, ready to do. Trey, I don't think they think is ready to take over right now. And as long as they don't think he is, then Jimmy G's the option. They do have the option, if Trey comes in at camp and just blows everyone away, to decide that Trey Lance is the quarterback, or if Jimmy doesn't perform well. If we get a 2020, performance from Jimmy Garoppolo and not a 2019 performance, then Trey Lance also will have the opportunity. But they're going to want to protect Trey as well, not put him in bad situations, and not get him beat up, but allow him to really learn this offense and get some development going in Kyle Shanahan's office, the way that they like to see things done in the quarterback position. Until then, Jimmy Garoppolo is the quarterback, and angry Jimmy Garoppolo is the quarterback. And if you don't think a motivated, angry Jimmy Garoppolo is a good thing, it 100% is. He's a fighter, he's a competitor, and I'm curious how he actually does this year. I think it could be great.
Listen, man, look at the change between 2018 Jimmy and 2019 Jimmy. His 2018 stats were good up until the ACL injury, but even coming into that 2019 season, now the doubt was starting to creep in. Can Jimmy be a quarterback in the league? He hasn't played a full season. Can he stay healthy? All of that stuff. And then 2019, stays healthy for a full year, has his best year statistically, takes the Niners to the Super Bowl. 2020 happens, gets hurt, can't stay on the field, can't stay healthy, lost something on the ball. Listen, you're going to be able to tell from some of these clips that we have. And we'll start with this very first one.
Yeah.
Against Seattle last season on a ball over the middle to Ayuk. He fits this ball in space, but look at his lower half here. He doesn't push off.
No.
That's why there was no zip last year. The reason why there was no zip on the ball is that ankle injury was bothering him a lot. Heavy. The facts that they were talking about having to have surgery on that ankle in order for him to be able to function at the level that he wanted to function at should tell you something. Because if you're needing ankle surgery on an ankle, you have some sort of tear somewhere, and those are in stabilizing ligaments down there in your ankle. And I would know something about him because you got 6 in the lower half of your leg, Ant, and I tore 3 of them on both legs in high school. It is not fun walking around with torn up ankles, trying to run or move in torn up ankles. That thing rolls constantly. You need support. You need a brace. You can't do it. You can't function the way you want to. If he was having to have surgery or thinking about having surgery, that had to have been a pretty significant injury, and I can't even imagine what that does to a guy at this level of football, trying to play with that kind of injury. It can't be easy, and it can't be good for him. And I'll tell you what, it showed last year.
Yeah, and this ball right here, you see him driving the ball down the field. This is the famous one to Emmanuel Sanders, where Sanders gets up and runs for a touchdown. And so Jimmy has the capabilities to throw down the field, but all the things that Jimmy Garoppolo, the complaints about Jimmy Garoppolo, that he throws, more short, underneath, intermediate routes, over the middle of the field, and not very much outside the numbers, are 100% true. The thing is, though, those are the things that make him so good at times in this offense, because these guys are built to catch the ball on the run. And when he catches them and hits them in stride like he does right here with Jordan Reed, it gives them the opportunity to get upfield and make plays. And Kyle Shanahan has drafted players, him and John Lynch, that do that to the all-time level, right? We talk about Yak all the time with Kittle, Ayuk, Deebo Samuel. These guys catch the ball on the run and get going, and that's something that Jimmy does good with the quick release. As long as he's able to get his lower half into it, he will have great timing on his throws, and then he'll be able to get these guys the ball in space where they can create. That is something I'd rather see more than a deep ball, is them be able to create in space. So get them the ball open, get them down the field where they can make plays. Do we need to see more throws down the field? We absolutely do. I think Brandon Ayuk will do a good job with helping that, and there are other possibilities as well. But this offense can be fully unlocked if we get other guys healthy. But Jimmy has to stay healthy. If he doesn't, then you see from these clips from 2020 compared to 2019, there's no lower half. And if he has no lower half in these throws, he can't make the deep throws down.
I mean, just look at that deep throw right there to Kittle.
Yeah.
Pushing off the back leg, letting that back leg, that right foot come through in space, finish in front here. And you'll see it right here on this replay. Flash back to that throw to Ayuk. There's no movement in that lower half. He's throwing with all arm there and no leg, and that's why there was no zip. That ball floats a little bit because he's not getting his body into the throw, especially that lower half. And that's where your power comes from. It comes from your hips. It comes from your legs and that lower portion of your body torquing around in space and generating that extra velocity to give that ball a little bit extra zip to get there. And you know what? I hear that a lot about Jimmy also. He doesn't make the throws outside the numbers. He doesn't make the throws outside the numbers.
He doesn't.
You know who doesn't make a lot of throws outside the numbers either? Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Tom Brady makes some, but most of the time it's to wide open guys in space. He's not making a lot of deep, middle, intermediate throws outside the numbers. Tom Brady made his career with little passes across the middle to Julian Edelman's, the Wes Welkers of the world, Rob Gronkowski's down the seam, inside the numbers, inside the hash marks. That's where he made his living. That's what made him so special. He fit balls in places that you shouldn't be able to fit a ball into because the window is so close and so small, but that release and the way he gets the ball out and the fact that he was able to predict or use his eyes to manipulate guys in space, you see that from a couple of these throws from Jimmy, especially in those red zone situations there, where he's looking left the entire time, knowing he has a guy releasing, coming back across right. His line gives him enough time to be able to allow the play to develop and be patient, and then pressure starting to collapse, that pocket starts to get small, doesn't matter, he's going to get the ball out in 2.5 seconds. It's going to be quick. That release, he's not holding on to the ball for 5 seconds. He's going to hold on to it for 3 or 4, and then boom, it's going to come out in half a second.
Yeah, and that's what makes him so successful in Kyle's offense is that quick release, being able to hit guys in stride, the timing. I mean, just like right there, Kendrick Bourne never had to lose stride. He got the ball and he turned upfield and he got to the end zone, and that's what you're looking at. Then you also have the recognition aspect. He sees the defense move, he knows what he's getting, and he gets Kittle behind everyone for a touchdown. Is the throw fantastic? No, but you know what the throw is? Catchable. And that's what you get from Jimmy Garoppolo is a lot of times catchable balls. Does he force balls or throw balls errantly? Absolutely he does. That is something he can clean up and bring down. But I think that just the overall touch and the way that he looks off coverage and is able to get the ball out in space on time is good. The other aspect of his game that is very good, that I'm curious to see what Trey Lance's development is, and I think, is turning your back to the offense to run the play action pass, turning it to the defense, turning it to the offensive line, and then whipping your head around and being able to locate the receiver and get the ball there. He does that very well. And that's not a lot of quarterbacks do that successfully. It takes them a while to get their eyes focused on what they need to see the coverage, and then throw the ball. Where Jimmy, and in fact, this is a play right here where he does it. Jimmy gets the ball right where he needs to be on time, right in the window. If he does this a half second later, it's an interception or it's knocked down. So those are things that he excels at, and that's another reason why he can be successful in Kyle Shanahan's offense.
And this is where the timing thing comes into it, right? You have to have timing here in the situation. Right here, when he comes back, he takes this out. He goes literally right to where Ayuk is in space.
Yeah.
His head is right where Ayuk is. He then quickly glances to the gap in the zone and puts the ball there and lets Ayuk run into the window and catch it. He's not waiting for Ayuk to get there. He locates him. His head goes literally right to where he is in space. After his back was turned to him, he had no idea where he was, and then is able to find the window, locate it, quick release, put the ball, let Ayuk go get it because it's zone coverage there in that situation, and make a play. I'm sorry. That's what Trey Lance is going to have to show he can do, and that is tough. That is tough to get your footwork down to a science where you're in sync with your receivers, so that way when you whip your head around, you're not whipping your head around and having to find where your receiver is in space. You're whipping your head around knowing he should be here. Window should be here. Get rid of the ball.
Yeah, and Trey can do that. He did run play action in college, and he's going to develop this, but it's going to take a little bit of time because he has to develop it running a new system, and then also the more complex defensive schemes that he's going to see.
Because he might come out and see cover 3, and it might be a 2. So he may be thinking the window's here, and he starts to drop back in space, and window shifts.
Well, that'll be his job deciphering, and that's something Jimmy does. And Kyle does a good job of helping the quarterback by using motion and stuff to let them know what the defense is actually running, what zone they're in, or if they're in man, and you see it taken advantage of a lot. Also, recognizing the blitz is something that Jimmy Garoppolo does a good job of. It doesn't mean they're always going to pick it up, but he usually does a very good job of locating it and letting everyone know. Alex Mack will also help with that, which could make Jimmy stay upright. And if Jimmy's upright, he's able to make more plays. So yes, Jimmy Garoppolo is poised to have a big bounce back season if he's healthy, because I think he can build off of 2019. I think 2020 we should consider an outlier because I don't think he was playing his best just because of the injuries to the lower half. And as long as I don't care if he wears a knee brace. I know that's always a topic of conversation. He can wear it.
I've never understood why that is a big deal.
They like to think it's a mental block that you can't get past the injury.
Here's the problem, though, right? Is like for most quarterbacks, you're not being asked to do what a receiver or a running back does in space after an ACL. The reason why you don't see running backs wearing braces is because it hinders movement and mobility. Mm-hmm. A little bit in terms of how quick you can shift, how explosive you can be on your cuts, things of that nature. That was never Jimmy's strength.
Right.
He doesn't need that aspect of his game. So therefore, the brace is that extra little stability he needs to be able to push and drive through that foot. Then it is what it is. I mean, I'm sorry, are we going to start knocking offensive linemen for wearing knee braces? Because literally every single one of them wears one.
Yeah.
Like I'd say like 80% of the league offensive linemen wear,
especially
in
college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's an extra bit of stability to make sure that, when you take that shot that maybe you're not ready for, your body doesn't collapse in on top of you. You have that extra bit of support there to help stabilize and give you that extra bit of protection. I'm all for it, especially if it clears his mind. If it's not something he's worried about and thinking about because he has that brace on, then wear the brace. That's one less thing clouding your judgment or clouding, making you doubt yourself or doubting your physical abilities in space. If that knee brace is that security blanket, wear it.
Yeah. And the reason that, Jimmy needs to be the quarterback right now is just, the development that Trey's going to need to have. I mean, he's just going to have to take time and learn Shanahan's system. And let's not put him out there in a position to, not be successful. Make sure he's ready. Whenever Kyle thinks that is appropriate, that'll be the right time. I will say this, is the 49ers run game needs to get going to help Jimmy and Trey, no matter who is the quarterback. And also, they can't just be all horizontal offense, which I really like. I like the horizontal offense.
He's a big fan.
Get the ball out quick. Jimmy does well. Get it to your guys in space and let them make plays. But you're going to have to take some vertical shots. They are going to have to develop the vertical game to a point. You can still be successful like they've shown in this clip with George Kittle. A great design of him peeling back, the other way, showing that they're going to run a flood one way and then him breaking against the grain and then Jimmy finding him. Those type of things they can still do and take advantage of whole shot plays. And Kyle will dial them up. They just got to be able to execute. The one thing I'll say about Jimmy, hopefully angry Jimmy is out there to prove that he can make all the throws, because there's a lot of times he will not throw to a receiver because they don't have a big window down the field, and he needs to just go ahead and do it.
No, I mean, those 50-50 balls, you have to take some shots. You have to take chances. I would be more inclined to be less frustrated with Jimmy's picks if they were in 50-50 ball situations. Mm-hmm. Typically what ends up happening is Jimmy forces a ball to somebody and tries to force it into a window that he shouldn't, and that's when the interception happens. Or he puts a tough ball in space, it tips off one of his guys' hands who isn't really contested, it's just a tight window throw. The guy doesn't secure it, and then it's a pick. Very rarely are Jimmy's interceptions 50-50 shots where it's one-on-one downfield with another guy. He took a lot more of them when he had a guy like Emmanuel Sanders. He doesn't have that veteran presence. He does have Mohamed Sanu, I guess. He's been drooling over Jalen Hurd in the press and can't wait for him to get on the field, so maybe that's a guy he's going to be more comfortable with. And we never really got to see Jimmy and Ayuk together fully in developing that chemistry, so maybe him and Ayuk now are going to have enough chemistry and a comfort level there that he's going to be willing to take more shots to Ayuk downfield of 50-50 balls. I'm not saying it needs to be 30 a game or 15 or 20, but man, it would be nice to see 4 or 5 50-50 balls and pushing the ball downfield and giving your guy a chance to go make a play in space and up in the air. because it can take some of the pressure off of your line from having to create with the run game, off of your running backs from breaking tackles and making big runs and making defenses punishing them. You want to stick 10 in the box and go one-on-one with Brandon Ayuk in space, Deebo Samuel, Jalen Hurd, George Kittle? You better hope to God we don't burn you downfield, because you know what? If you stick that many guys in the box, we're going to take a shot.
Yeah, I think that's the key, is just making sure these guys can't overload the box and come after you, with all these blitz packages that they were running last year. They really were. They were just loading the box, packing the box, and coming after the 49ers quarterbacks, and they can't have that happen again. So the 49ers need to have at least a threat, and that's the thing. If Jimmy Garoppolo can provide a threat of them having a passing game, 4,000 yards again would be sufficient for the 49ers to get all the way to the Super Bowl. He can do it. He's proven that he can do it. I know, yes, we had a great football team around him. You know what we have right now? A great football team around him.
Sure.
And as long as he can be the captain and steer the ship the right way, then he's perfectly fine with me running the team. Get him out there, let him make these quick throws, do all the things, use the talents that Jimmy Garoppolo has and the things that he can do well, which is all the mental, the quick release, the throws on time, and use all that to his advantage. And then when you need to, the things he doesn't do very well, take only a few shots. Like you said, if it was 4 or 5 shots down the field a game, it would be fine, because at least then the safeties have to respect you. And if they don't, those are 4 or 5 opportunities you have for big-time plays. But it's never going to be an air-it-out situation. No, he's not Aaron Rodgers. No, he's not Dan Marino. He's not John Elway. He's not going to chuck it 50 yards down the field. And you know what? The 49ers offense doesn't need that right now. Would it be wonderful? Yes, it would be wonderful when Trey Lance does that eventually.
We got time.
But right now, we don't need that. But Angry Jimmy, show up in 2021. I want to see it.
We want Angry Jimmy. We want all of the Angry Jimmy. Let us know what you think down below right now. Have we swayed you even a little bit, or are we living a pipe dream and this is Trey Day, all day, Trey area? It needs to happen week 1. You can't wait for it. We want to hear from you. And while you're down there, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share this thing with your friends and every other football fan that you know, so we can have a great conversation. Do they like Jimmy like we like Jimmy? Do they hate him? Do they want him to come to their team once we're done with him and it's Trey Day in San Francisco? Share it with everybody, and don't forget to subscribe. We really appreciate all the support. The Cutback crew is fantastic. We love y'all. We love this, just faithful in general, but the Cutback crew has been extremely supportive. You guys have been holding this podcast down since day one. We love and appreciate y'all.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We appreciate all the support, all the great comments, the interaction that we've had. And you know what? I think that a lot of people need to really cheer for Jimmy Garoppolo, and I'm going to tell you why. Because if you cheer for Jimmy Garoppolo and Jimmy Garoppolo plays well, not only does it help the 49ers this year, but then when they can trade him, it helps the 49ers.
You can recoup some of that draft capital from Trey Lance.
It sure would be nice to go into next year with 2 second-round picks at least. That would be nice. Play well, Jimmy. Get us a Super Bowl and help the 49ers out. I think everyone should rally behind that.
And get yourself a payday, Jimmy. Get yourself a payday.
I want Jimmy to get
if we get a Super Bowl out of this, we're going to get a first-round draft pick most likely, maybe something else as well. And Jimmy's going to get himself paid, and he's going to have a nice long career in the NFL. If Jimmy plays terribly, this could be the end of Jimmy Garoppolo's starting career in the NFL, maybe other than New England, and that only depends on if McCorkle decides to absolutely take
the Lego man quarterback.
It's not good. It's not good. Also, they don't know not to hit their quarterbacks in OTAs. That rookie's probably gone.
Or they're like, you know what? I like your fire.
It's intensity. I love it, the passion. Hey, man, it's been a lot of fun. Jimmy G, take care of business. Let's get you paid. Let's get us a nice draft pick and even a Super Bowl. And until next time, 49ers fans, you stay safe.
And remember, the right way is always the 49ers way.